everybody, this is Jennifer and welcome to my channel where I talk about books, music, movies, and anything else that takes my fancy, but mostly it's books. So today I have something that I don't normally do, but I'm going to try to do more of in the future. I've got a review, sort of, and a discussion about the Wolf Gift Chronicles by Anne Rice. So, I read these just about, let me see something real quick. These books came out a few years back. Let's see, sorry about that, should have checked that. I think the Wolf Gift came out in 2012, and then The Wolves of Midwinter, which I have here. I don't have a copy of The Wolf Gift. I only have that on audiobook, and that's on my phone, and I film on my phone, so I cannot show you. So yeah, they came out in 2013, and ever since, I read this for the first time when it was still winter, but it was after Christmas, and I just decided that from now on I was going to read these every holiday season. The Wolf Gift, which is the first book, came out in, well, not came out, the events revolve around, well, they take place during Thanksgiving, and then the Wolves of Midwinter, they take place in the Christmas season. So they really get me in the mood for the holidays, so I reread them. Well, actually, I mostly just listen to the audiobooks, which I also have. And then this is the only hard copy I have right now. I don't know. It seems like every time I'm about to get the Wolf Gift, something happens. I don't end up getting it. But I have it on audiobook, so I listen to that. Alright, so, detour over. So yeah, I reread them every holiday season. I just finished my reread in December of The Wolf Gift and The Wolves of Midwinter. So I thought I would do some festive horror for you guys, or in a review, and you know, do a quick overview and all that. So I have to have notes here. Notes. All right, so Reuben Golding is the main character here, and he is out in, this takes place in the San Francisco area in Mendocino, and he goes to this house, and it's being sold by this woman called Marchant Nidek. And the owner of the house, her great uncle Felix, had been gone for 20 years, and nobody knew where he was. So he was officially declared dead. And now she's selling this big property. And Reuben is a reporter for, I think it's a San Francisco Chronicle or something like that. He's a reporter for a San Francisco newspaper. So he's come to do a piece about the house and about the mystery of Felix Nidek, who's the man who disappeared. And so stuff happens, which I'm not going to say what it is because I don't know. I don't want to be too spoilery, but just a warning, it might happen. It might, but it probably won't. I'll try to keep it from happening. So Martin ends up dead, and this happens in the first 2 chapters, so it's not too spoilery. And she had willed the house over to Reuben after knowing him for a couple hours, because that's the kind of stuff that happens in this book. So Martin ends up dead, and something happens to Reuben, and suddenly he's turning in to a werewolf. A wolf man, as it's known in here. So the first book, The Wolf Gift, has him dealing with his transformation, dealing with the mystery of what happened to Felix Nidek, and dealing with all his relationships and stuff with this new ability. And then the second book, The Wolves of Midwinter, It continues the story, and it deals with the broader Wolfman lineage, maybe I'd call it that. It's not exactly like that, but so he has a group of wolfmen who are living in this house with him, including Felix Nidek. That was vaguely spoilerish. And so they're trying to deal with the aftermath of what happened in the previous book. They're telling their stories a bit to the young Wolfman Reuben. And so their story is just continuing, and it's happening over Christmas. And so, let's see here. So it's all, it's about how it's affecting Reuben, it's about how it's affecting his family, and it's affecting his family in lots of different ways. And basically, it ends at the end of the Christmas season, and yeah, there hasn't been a new one. She's gone back to writing Vampire Chronicles, which I stopped reading in like 2001 or whatever. Which makes me sad because I really want to continue this series because I really like it. But I am currently reading the new the new Ramsay Saddam book, The Passion of Cleopatra. It's so good. All right. So let's talk about how I felt about these books. All right, so I feel like there's a lot of... Okay, let me just start off by saying, The Wolf Gift I've given, and I continue to give 4 stars pretty much every time I read it. The Wolves of Midwinter get 5 stars because that is my Christmas book, and I love it. Though I understand that it's not without its flaws. So let's talk about some of the pluses that I feel it has. The atmosphere and the setting, that house, the idea of that house is enchanting to me. It's got a conservatory, for crying out loud. I've never been in a conservatory as far as the house is concerned. And, just the small, sleepy town that it's in. It's like maybe it's a few hours out of San Francisco, which is where Reuben has previously lived and where his parents and his brother are at. And it's just so, I don't know. It's surrounded by woods, and it's just, the atmosphere these 2 books evoke it's engaging. And there are some themes in here that both of the books cover, which is like, there's people in his life who are, I feel this is most characterized by the people in his life, because you have 2 women, Celeste, his fiance, and Grace, scolding his mother, who are very practical, who are very gung-ho, they're very career-oriented. And then you have Reuben and you have his dad, who are very more artistically minded. And they've picked similar women, and they're both like the opposite. And so you have this tension all the time of the practical and the pragmatic versus the artistic and the dreamy, and that goes throughout both books. And I think the dynamics are very interesting there. There's the relationship between Reuben and his family, and the other relationships he comes into later on. And there's also an overarching coming of age story here with Reuben. you know, if you've seen werewolf movies and stuff like that, you get this imagery of puberty and adolescence with the hair springing up everywhere, growing at great speeds. You know, it's pretty obvious what like the lycanthropy is a metaphor for. And you see this with Reuben, not just physically, but emotionally and in his attitudes and stuff. Because, you know, his family, everybody except his dad, refers to him as a boy all the time. Celeste calls him Sunshine Boy. His mother refers to him as Baby Boy, or, you know, and then his brother is Little Boy or whatever. So you have all these people in his life referring to him constantly as a boy. And then he gets transformed into this wolf man. I know, it's a bit heavy there, but it still works because there's so much going on with him breaking away from these people who refer to him in such childish manner and moving towards people who treat him more like an adult. And that is really, it's very good. It's very good characterization all throughout. And you also, especially in the second book, you get some of the negatives that come with growing up. You know, the distancing, and then the, frankly, at times in the second book, Reuben's an out-and-out jerk. And he won't return Celeste's phone calls, which I'm like, seriously. And so, yeah, those are very, very interesting arcs that go through both of these books. So there are some minuses. For one thing, some of these characters are really not believable. You have, okay, let's start with Reuben. Reuben is 23, and he has a job as a reporter when he is 23, and he dresses like a 50-year-old. And then you have his fiancée Celeste, who's his age, and she's an assistant DA at 23. It's like, yeah, okay, sure, that'll happen. There's also some plot holes which probably could have been fixed by some editing. I think I hear that Anne Rice is notorious for not really being edited, which I see how that happens. There's also some scenes in here where Reuben is in his wolf form and he's hunting animals. And I have to fast forward through those scenes in my audiobook because I can't listen to him gnawing around in animal entrails. It's ugh. Ew. Also, and this is specific to the Wolf Gift, the second to the last chapter felt really long, and it felt like it belonged in a later book. So there's that. So for the Wolf Gift, I really enjoyed the reread. I actually enjoyed this reread better than I did the last reread. So yeah. All right, so when it comes to the Wolves of Midwinter, there's this protracted part of the book where the Reuben and the other gentlemen of Nideck Point are throwing this gigantic, like, mind-boggling. This is another thing where this thing costs millions of dollars, and they're just like, okay, we'll cost, we'll spend $1 million to do this thing. No, private people don't do that for other people. Anyway, besides the point. But regardless, it's so Christmassy, and this book gets me in the Christmas spirit better than any other thing. Like, better than any Christmas movie, better than any other thing. And it's so, like, it's a very protracted scene. There's outside, and then there's inside, and there's, like, chorus, there's mummers, there's all kinds of stuff, and it's so, oh, it's delightful. This is really delightful. Yeah. Alright, so, let's see. Yeah, I like the continuation of his coming-of-age story. I've already spoken about that a bit. And it continues to explore the conflict between the practical and the it's not prosaic. That's not what I mean. Pragmatic. That's what I said. That's what I meant. That's what I said the first time. And this continues not really through. It's still through Celeste a bit because of something that happens in the book, which I'm not going to say what it is. And some new villains that come into play here. So yeah, that conflict keeps arising, and it's probably going to keep arising because I think it's one of the major themes of this series. Yeah, and so overall, you know, I really love this, and I'm probably going to read it again next year because it's sort of like a tradition now. But overall, I love the writing, I love the story, and I love the atmosphere. So yeah, these are going to continue to be some of my favorite books. So if you've read these books and you want to make a comment about what you like or what you don't like, we can have a discussion in the comments. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, and if you like these reviews, or if you have some comments about the reviews that are polite and well-meaning, you can also make a comment on that. Okay, so thank you so much for stopping by. I'll catch you next time on my channel. Bye.